Today, I'm going to share the story of an 8-year-old student who is navigating the world of autism, communication challenges, and big strengths waiting to shine. So her teacher reached out for support with challenging behaviors, academics, and communication. Like many students, her biggest struggle comes when she can't express what she wants, when transitions are overwhelming, or when she isn't getting enough positive reinforcement. My name is Tara Warwick. I'm an occupational therapist. So let me guide you through what we did to help this student. So a little bit of background information about her. She communicates with an AAC device, so augmentative alternative communication devices, and she uses it with pretty good skill. She can type words, spell, express her preferences. She knows her letters, numbers, colors, shapes, and when she's motivated, she can follow her schedule independently. So her favorite things are cartoons, small treats, sensory type play. Those are all very powerful motivators to help her succeed. Her family shared that while she's making progress, fitting in with peers has been hard. They've also struggled with some of the same behaviors at home. Past therapy services were disrupted by frequent screaming episodes, and now the family's really trying to find some supports to help her thrive in both the school and the home setting. So in our observation when we were there, we observed in the school and the classroom. We saw her across multiple settings. So we saw her in the special ed setting, in the general ed setting, in music, in PE, and also during occupational therapy. We did notice that the transitions were extremely tough for her. So she would scream, she would try to bite her hand, she would drop to the floor. And the more adults that tried to redirect her, the more her behaviors escalated. But when transitioning to something she loved, she was much more successful. So to help, we modeled strategies for the team and coached them through some different strategies. We used positive reinforcement, we paired transitions with preferred items, and they worked. So we really encourage the team that find something that she really likes, that's really secure to her and safe for her, and pair that with when she is transitioning between those activities that are a little bit harder for him. And once she did, she calmed down and she engaged a lot more quickly. So in the occupational therapy, the team, we were really trying to work on her AAC device. And so what we noticed is that anytime the teacher or the therapist presented her with something that she didn't want to do, maybe it was too hard, maybe it's too easy, maybe she just didn't feel like it, she would immediately go to biting her hand. Okay. And so when she would bite her hand, of course, the team would say, no, don't do that. They would stop the activity and then they would pay attention to that. So we coached the team and we said, I understand that you're trying to address the biting, but really you're reinforcing that biting by giving her that attention. However, we also know that that biting means something, and we have to figure out what it means and teach her another way to communicate without having to bite herself. Teaching her a way that's easier and more efficient, more effective to get that need met. So the team agreed that she was biting to tell us no, right? So we said, guess what? We want to practice teaching her how to tell us no with her device. So in the occupational therapy session, we had her playing with her favorite things, and then the OT would bring out something that we knew she didn't want to do. So awesome. What happened was, first couple times she kind of bit herself. Then after that, she stopped biting and immediately went to pushing no immediately. Then what was even better than that, it was almost like once she had that power and she felt like she could tell us no and we would respect that, she then started doing some of the activities that she might have not done before, okay? Because it's almost like I said, we empowered her to tell us no, to be able to advocate for her needs in a way that we all understood. So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. We also then looked at in the general ed setting, and we talked with them about some simple strategies that might make a big difference. So when we're bringing her into the general ed classroom, we're giving her access to things that she likes, things that make her feel good, things that are meaningful to her, and also providing her a lot of clear choices on the activities and simplifying the task. So it's very clear what it is that she needs to do. We might have a visual to show her, maybe a checklist, but these small changes made her feel like she was in more control and that she was safe in those environments. So what worked best for the student? Here's a list. We gave her choices throughout the day. Okay, even if it was a choice, do you want to do the iPad for 1 minute or 2 minutes? Do you want to do this worksheet first or that worksheet? Those small choices helped her so much feel like she had some power and some control in the situation. Then we used favorite items during transitions. Transitions were hard, so we made sure that we paired them something with that she really liked. So that way, it's a more of an enjoyable experience for her. It's like I tell people, like, oh, give me Netflix when I'm on the treadmill. I want my favorite show when I'm on the treadmill, because I don't want to get on the treadmill. But if I pair it with my favorite show, then it's more likely for me to stay on there longer. Another thing we did is we limited the verbal directions and we used more visuals. The more verbal instructions we gave her, the more she escalated and the more she was overwhelmed. So we said, let's move to visuals. Visuals, it's consistent, very clear expectations. If we're going into the general ed classroom, if we're going to a different activity, we're going to list out what it is that we're going to do, either in pictures or in words, whatever it takes to help her understand that process. We also want to expand the use of her device across activities. So many times I go into schools and we're like, where's their device? They're like, oh, it's over there in the closet. I'm like, that doesn't help us at all. So we want to make sure that she has access to that all the time. And the other thing with the AAC device is things that are on there should be things that are meaningful to that person. Okay? If toileting is not meaningful, that should not be the first thing you're teaching the kid to use on the iPad. It has to be things that are meaningful. For her, no, it was very meaningful. So that's what we were going to teach her. Okay? Dora was very meaningful. That's what we're going to teach her. We're going to make sure on that iPad we're using things that are meaningful for her, and we're going to use it across the day. Okay? We also wanted to provide some structured time with peers in the general ed. Right now, her day consists mostly of time in a special education class. So we really want to look at how can we structure more time with peers in the general ed. So we're making that time predictable. We're putting things that are meaningful to her. We're making sure that we're modifying her work when she goes in the general ed. We're also ending on a good note. So many times we go and we push kids to failure. And so they learn, okay, I'm going to go in there until I can't do it anymore, and then they're going to take me out. Okay, then they start pairing those environments with things that are not happy for them. So instead, I want to take them in there, make it a happy, great experience, and then give them a break. The other thing we had to do is we're going to coach the classmates to support her communication. So we really want to make sure that we're also empowering her classmates, her peers, to know what the device is and how she can use it and how maybe they can use it, and they can kind of go back and forth to model how to use different things on the device. The other thing is of making sure that we are reinforcing positive behaviors, okay? So that we are really providing her with things that are meaningful to her, things that she enjoys, especially during those times that are a little bit harder for her, maybe new activities, maybe difficult activities. We're doing all those things to help support her. So this story reminds us that behavior is communication. With the right supports, patience, and positive reinforcement, students like her can thrive, which builds independence. It helps her connect with peers, and it truly shows their true potential. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to subscribe and like this video so that way you can get all these updates that I'm sending out.